Alright, so in theory now everybody's coughing and everything goes through. So, good evening, folks. It is roughly 8 o'clock. Let's call it 8:02 p.m. on May 2nd. And this is the beginning of Amcard of Alaska's Board of Directors meeting for today. So the first item on the agenda is the acceptance of minutes from the previous meeting of April 18th. Have you all had an opportunity to review those minutes? I see a lot of head nods. Okay. Stop me and interrupt me if there's a question about that. Cameron, correct me. Do we need an official vote to accept these, or can we just say that we've reviewed them and that we've looked at them?
I don't think we need an official vote.
Okay. I didn't think there was anything super
sure.
critical. Yeah, we're all nodding our heads. We've all had a look at it. We all can look at the YouTube video from last time. The 50-ish minutes or so of that meeting is all publicly available. All right. So jumping forward.
There. Go ahead and shut it off.
The bank accounts have some extra people on them, and so it was brought to our attention that these people probably shouldn't be on the accounts anymore, both for their sake and ours. So we're gonna have a vote to do the following. The first vote, and we'll just keep it completely separate, but the first vote is going to be to remove Shelby Blades, Brittney Meyers, Anessia Hubler, Samantha Cunningham from all of the bank accounts. So, officially, do we have a second?
A second.
A second.
Okay, cool. So, technically I should have said the words, I make a motion to blah, 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 but anyways, you're all following. So, let's just have a vote and burn through this. Victor, you're first. Yay or nay on removing those previous prime ministers? Yes, cool. Cameron?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Thank you. Logan?
Yes.
Michelle?
Yes.
Cool, and I vote yes. And so we have a unanimous vote to remove those previous folks from our bank accounts.
Awesome. Could I say something real quick?
Absolutely. Feel free.
I don't believe that Hazel was ever added to the bank accounts. In fact, I think we still have the Alaska USA account open, and my name is still on it from when I was Prime Minister some way back. Because I first sign off on the account to close it or change it over to somebody else.
We do not have, to the best of my knowledge, any Alaska USA accounts open. I have 6 account numbers that I am aware of as having been the Alaska USA accounts, and I have statements of all of those, and they are all closed.
Now, not just to speak in, because I remember on a previous council of crowns, there was something specific with Icefire Bay and their Alaska USA account. I can't recall what it was, but it comes to mind.
I'm not sure that this is what you're thinking of, but it was not their Alaska USA account. It was their Denali account. And because they do not have a Denali branch in Homer, we voted to repurpose the Denali checking account that had been Icefire Bay as the Northreach major event account. And that's why Hazel needs to be removed from it. It's no longer the Icefire Bay account.
Okay. And we can sort out any questions. Like if somebody's getting bank statements or sees themselves flagged on the account, feel free to get in touch with Cameron, and we can get that sorted out another time. I don't know if you guys are seeing any issues there. Is it all right if I move on to the next item? All right, I got no resistance, so I'm gonna consider that a yes. So we have the. Oh, is Lupine Moon the only group that is swapping prime ministers? Is basically everybody else holding their previous prime ministers? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so that's what's going on here. I was like, we're singling Wayne out. Like, we got to get him off there. But anyways, so we're making a motion to remove Wayne Watt from the Lupine Moon account and add Amanda Chudnofsky. So basically, that's for swapping out who's going to be prime minister in Lupine Moon. Does anybody want to make a second? You second?
I'll second that.
Cool. So we got Michelle seconding it. All right, let's just go straight to a vote. Victor,
Yes.
Cameron,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Logan,
Yes.
Michelle.
Yes.
Okay, and I'll say yes. So we got a unanimous yes vote. Wayne, you're out.
You'll be all right.
Yeah, I know. So Wayne, what are you running for? I mean, what? All right, moving on to the next item on the agenda, taxes. So internally, we've been having some discussions about that. I don't know for those that have watched the previous meeting where we, we're kind of going through what happened. But I made a summation of our current status and what our hopes are for moving forward from that. So just in case, for those at home, I'll read that because this is internal on the BoD page. 2018 calendar year taxes. We have some outstanding unexplained items, including, let's see here. Cameron, feel free to add anything as I kind of go through them, but otherwise I'll just kind of read through my list that I made that post from. It looks like we have a $1,000 check that we gave to the Alaska State Fair. It might have been, we're questioning whether that should have been refunded at some point since that was from January of 2018, or possibly I threw in the idea that maybe it was being rolled forward continuously because we do continue to rent from them. And so maybe we just have an ongoing damage deposit with the Alaska State Fair, but we're going to try to follow up on that and figure out what the exact status of that is. The next item is labeled as check 69 for $632. It was made from the Alaska USA account in February of 2018. Do we have any further info or updates on that yet?
Yes, I have identified that one.
Oh, you have? Okay. Did
Yep. I have updated the spreadsheet that
Okay.
I had sent you guys. So.
Okay, would you mind adding that to the BoD post that I made on the BoD page? I'm just trying to keep all that stuff centralized now, and this would be a good way to have a record. Do you want to share with I don't know, is it worth sharing?
It was feast expenses for Dungeon Crawl.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
Dungeon Crawl 2018.
Okay. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Next one was a reimbursement request for $40 from the Alaska USA. It looks like, I think all the issues were with the Alaska USA account, which is a closed account, right? But anyways, it was a reimbursement request for $40 in May of 2018. Have you found that one yet?
I haven't had a chance to track, like the little ones that were, a few tens of dollars. I haven't had a chance to track down yet.
Okay. Yeah, going for the big ticket ones first. Did we track down? So the last one that was on my list was the end of year, the end balance of $1,659.09 in the Alaska USA account, where in theory that should have been, swapped to zero and that money transferred and some record of that, but we don't have record of that. Is that still true? Right. Okay.
Let's see.
Do we feel like this isn't like a record keeping error at this point, or do you think the money's actually missing or residing somewhere?
Needs more investigation. Having gotten since our last meeting, I have been able to obtain, as I mentioned earlier, account statements for all of 2018 for all 6 of our Alaska USA accounts. I have gotten through the individual park statements, so I've re-audited Astral Winds, Frozen Coast, Icefire Bay, Lupine Moon, and Ravenstone. The primary Northreach account I have not gotten to yet. That one's rather longer. So with balances transferring around between those balances that I didn't have any record of to begin with, that total amount that was closed out of the Lupine Moon account on June 29th was $3,782.79. And that is gone as far as any record I have. I have record of it leaving that account and not going anywhere. So that's the main thing I'm working on.
And that's you said $3,000+.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. And we don't. Do we have some other information about where the seed money when the Denali account was opened?
I do not have any mismatched balances in the Denali accounts. So
Okay, so you have you know where all that seed money came from.
I'd
It's
have to
accounted for.
jump around my spreadsheet and track things down, but yes, that's the initial money
Okay.
for the Denali accounts is accounted for.
Okay. Interesting. So we might be missing. Okay, but you're still working, I'm sure, hard on tracking
Yep.
that down.
I have a
harassing
research
folks.
request open with Alaska USA to determine what branch that was closed at. Put me in, at least in a, who might have done this, to know who to go pester.
Okay. So, alrighty. So that's so it's even different than what I have on here. But yeah, if you could definitely update,
I haven't had
whatever those
a chance
notes
to
are.
update that yet.
Awesome. Okay, but you'll get that to us, and so it'll be part of that thread, and we're going to keep tracking that internally. All right, but as far as deductions and filing an amended tax return, well, first off, we really need to figure out where all the money went, and how much is in different places, so we can figure out what what we're even talking about. But the other issues that I identified were, we're trying to build up what the refund would look like, and right now we were at a total that I last saw in the spreadsheet when I looked at it, which I guess was 4 days ago now. 3 days ago. But at that time, we were looking at an additional $309 refund. But I imagine that number might be growing a little bit as we it'll fluctuate as we figure things out.
There's
but
like
what I was-
$100-ish of the small ones. Those would be like $20 more refund.
Right. Add up to tens of dollars for an additional refund. Yeah. Sure. All right. So I had an outstanding request. I think that basically this is of you, that I would like the list of items and expenses that were not counted as deductions that we felt were ineligible, and so that we could review those items independently, and or possibly have a third party that might be more familiar with tax law take a look at them, and then at that point we can also assess whether it's worth taking and spending money to assess those items.
I do not believe it is worth spending money on. The quote I got from H&R Block for tax processing was $600. There's no way we're finding $600 worth of
additional stuff beyond what we're already going to find. Right. That is. And so that'll be the assessment that we make at the end, but there might be a volunteer within the group too that can help shed some light for, potentially free or less money that might make it worthwhile. So I still would like that list, and we can go over that at a future time. And so anyways, for those that might have missed it, we have this, we're tracking this internally on the BoD page, and we'll try to keep everybody up to date as there are worthwhile things to share, such as, where did the missing money go? And hopefully it's not really missing, it's just, tracked wrong, or cell is missing. Alrighty. Moving on to the next topic. Clan for cabin for Northreach, the clan cabin. So it costs $550 to rent that cabin. I guess in the past, there's been motions to have that money fronted by Northreach, and at other times it's also, I think people have requested that it's been outright paid for, but I don't know if it actually ever has been. But anyways, there's currently a request with a kind of a decent argument to say that a lot of those folks that are flying down to clan are volunteering a lot of their time representing Northreach, and so the request was that if Northreach would be willing to pay for the cabin outright, that $550, and allow the Northreach members to stay there basically for free, with the idea that they're representing us, and this is kind of our thank you for that. So how do you guys feel about that? I kind of want to open it up and any thoughts, discussion.
Well, how many people are going down? I guess that's the first question.
Yeah, I couldn't get an exact list. I asked for that, but I think the number's kind of fluctuating. People are having a hard time committing at this point, this far out. So it's a variable number. And I don't know if they have like a recent count, but those posts, when I asked for that head count, they directed me to a Facebook post that was very wishy-washy to me. But it's a public one if you guys want to look at it.
Gotcha. I know the one you're talking about. I guess my biggest question or my biggest concern is, if we pay for this, is it going to really get them there?
Is it going to make the difference between? I don't think that
them going or not.
I don't think this makes or breaks anybody. I would hope that this doesn't make or break anybody, because if this is the critical piece, then you might not. This might not be the best trip to be making. Effectively, I think this is saving somebody, $50 to $60, and if it's a nice thank you to those folks, but I hope that people aren't planning the trip with that so tight, because when you're traveling that far, you should always have some cash in reserve.
Theoretically.
Yeah. Does anybody have any other questions or comments? Basically what I'm trying to nudge at is I think that personally, if I were to do it, I'd say that the group that Northreach should front the money, but I don't know if at this time that this is that outright paying for it is the best move for us. It's not something that I think we couldn't discuss in the future for future ones, but I also don't think that any individual should be shouldering or taking the burden on for fronting the money for folks. That we as a group can kind of handle that with the expectation that people pay back. So that's where I'm at. But if you guys have other opinions, that's what I'm opening it up for.
Is there a crack at me?
No.
All right.
Now I'm curious. Why would you? Never mind. We can talk about that when we're not on the air.
Okay.
All right. Then. Oh, Logan, you.
Yeah, I have no problem fronting at all. Somebody would have to spend some time convincing me to vote as far as just covering it for those people. I mean, and I think it's great to have the commitment to go down, and I know they give us a good name when they do, and we have a good reputation, but I still don't necessarily see it as something I am raring to give a positive vote, so.
Then at this point, somebody else is jumping into the chat. I'm going to make a motion to just say that we will front the money with the expectation that those that attend will pay back their portion, and that it will be split amongst those that do attend. So, if only 5 people attend, that might be a little more expensive, but what do you guys think? Does that make sense to do it that way?
That makes sense to me.
Okay, so I make a motion to front the money with the expectation that everybody that attends and uses the cabin will pay back the an equal split share of that cost of $550. Do we have?
I second the motion.
Second, awesome. All right. So last comment.
I'm sorry. I'm just. Part of me is wanting to hold off on this if we can. To see if we can't get this commitment from the people that are going.
Okay, so I have the invoice, and if Jason's there and is available, he might be able to shed some light on the due date and the timing of the invoice. But I think there might be concerns about reserving or locking the cabin down for us, and I don't know if you withhold payment for too long that they might. Yeah.
It's like a tonight decision then.
No, I haven't gotten any threats that they're going to give the cabin away yet.
Oh, okay. So if we waited another, I don't know. What do you guys think? Is the
well, I don't want to lose it for them.
Yeah, I don't want to lose it for them, but I know what you mean, where you want to get more people to actually say that they're going. I
Yeah,
don't know
because I
if,
mean, like personally, if we had a good 10 people going down there, I'd be all over it. I'd be like, yeah, let's just pay for it and get down there. But if we only end up with five or less people that actually end up going, is that something we really want to? I'd rather support more than less, I guess is what I'm getting at.
how many does the cabin actually hold? That's my first.
The cabin we have reserved is a 10-bed cabin.
10 beds. That makes sense. I don't know if I personally agree with the notion of deciding to pay for it for more versus for less. I don't think the amount of people really changes it for me. I don't know if that does for others, but I think it's either we do or we don't. I think that at this point, regardless, even if only a handful of people went, I still think that fronting the money is a reasonable thing to do for those folks. And that's where I'm at. I don't know how you guys feel, and then we could decide at another time to say, well, we forgive the debt, or don't pay us.
Then that's what I would make a motion for, is let's front it now and then have a discussion later.
About forgetting it. Okay. All right, I'll second that, or kind of agree to that amended idea that it's not off the table, that we will discuss it further
I'll send it
later.
down.
Okay. So let's go down that vote. Victor, yay or nay?
Yay.
Cameron.
Yes.
Doug.
Yes.
Logan.
Yes.
Michelle. Yes, cool. And I'll throw a yes. So we have a unanimous yes for fronting the money. And we will reserve the right to potentially not ask for reimbursement. But everybody that currently commits to it should expect to reimburse the amount that they borrow, or for their cabin, their fair share.
So be awesome.
Yeah.
We're judging you.
Alrighty, that is the end of the items that I had for the BoD meeting for tonight. Does anybody have any last minute additions that they want to make?
Yes. Give me just a moment.
Okay.
Got it. Yes, I just found my transaction.
Oh. So this is back
I
to
didn't. Yes, this is the Lupine Moon account. I did not find it earlier because it didn't match the other end of it. I had a $1,600 over here and a $3,700 over there, and they didn't match, so I didn't have them mapped up. Now that I have finished the audit on all of the local accounts, I've got all of my balances matched up for last USA, and it now matches a number that I had, because I hadn't gotten back to the main Northreach account yet.
Okay.
So I was just scanning over that, and I've got the number that matches. So that's figured now. So
we're not necessarily missing $3,000. That's good.
Correct.
Forward progress. All right. So still, when you get some summaries, if you could include them on the post in the BoD board, so that we can have it all in one place, and we'll keep that updated for everybody to track. And then we'll release a report for the general public at the end of this process, so that everybody can kind of look over it and see the due diligence on our end. All right. Is there anything else that we want to do for the BoD meeting tonight? No? All right. I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Hey. All right, Victor, yay or nay for closing? Adjourning.
Yay.
Yay. Cameron.
Yes.
Yes. Doug.
Yes.
Logan.
Yes.
Michelle.
Yes.
Okay, and so we are adjourned at 8:27 p.m. Fantastic. All right. Woo whiz. We're changing things. Oh, welcome to the CoC meeting tonight. It is now 8:27 p.m. on May 2nd. Alrighty, folks. First item on the agenda for tonight, the Ambassador Report. Goran, would you like to bring us up to speed on what's happening nationally, internationally even?
There isn't a whole lot because we skipped a week or so in our business window, so we're just getting back into some business. So there isn't anything new happening yet.
Okay. Cool. Well, that was nice and sweet. All right, next item. So, I've had people discussing this with me on and off for the last few months, and I'm finally moving it forward, and I'm going to throw my conundrum at the rest of you and just see if this is even a problem, if this even registers to you folks. So, Northreach has been running partial credits for fighter practice and A&S nights for a very long time, basically since our inception, back in Astral Winds days. And I've had folks asking me if we could bring that up to doing full credits for things, which is kind of the interKingdom standard. Correct me here if I'm wrong, Jason. Does that sound right? Most folks do full credits?
I think so.
Okay. That's the sentiment that's shared with me. I don't, its validity and accuracy might, be questionable. But, so I have two kind of issues with that, and see if you guys even consider these as issues. The first one, of course, is what do you do with partial credits? And my go-to would just be, we'll just round them up. We'll consider that a blanket, you get between 0.25 and 0.75, and we'll just get everybody up to, full credits, whole counts. And so partial credits being an issue. I don't think that's a big issue. But the second one is we need to be able to keep individuals under the cap of 12 bonus credits a month. And the issue that I was having when I discussed this with Cameron is that there's no way currently in the org to track what's a bonus credit versus a normal earned credit by playing a game. And so my concern was in certain situations we could accidentally, unintentionally, give folks more credits than is allowed. Do you guys have suggestions? Do you think that's a worthwhile concern to stop moving forward, to halt progress on this issue? That's what I've been concerned about.
So bonus credits would really only be if you gave out credits for an event where there was no fighting at all, or where you gave out more than one credit for a single day.
Right. So that would count for A&S, and if we were doing class credits for fighter practice. Now, if we stuck with warrior only credits for fighter practice, which could be a method that we go with, then that could be given out with no problem. It wouldn't count, wouldn't be a bonus credit. But if we do a full class credit for fighter practice, then it's considered a bonus credit. Does anybody have anything they want to chime in here? We're just gonna
start playing battle games at fighter practice.
I know. I mean, I've had that, but then,
wear a sash and throw a spell at someone.
Right, or just everybody throws on a green sash and they cast, heal or tracking on somebody. Doesn't matter, tracking doesn't do anything. You track them.
Practice your spells. Yeah.
Right. All right, so Cameron, do you have anything you want to add? I mean, you're leading the group that's gonna be dealing with this as much of an issue as anybody.
Not really.
Not really. Okay. Should we just do it and see if it becomes an issue? I'm ready to just dive into the deep end and see.
We can.
Have you guys tried to figure out how somebody could feasibly even get to 12, a little more than 12? Like even if fighter practices and A&S's were bonus credit, it would have to attend like 3 of those a week just to get to 12.
Right, so it wouldn't be under normal scenarios. I think a normal month, no problem, not even going to register. But we do tend to give out credits for volunteering hours at events, and since we're running into the summer, it becomes a question, a bit of a variable there, where, you got somebody that volunteers a number of hours, gets a certain number of credits, somebody else volunteers the same number of hours, but they attended A&S. I can see where like the accounting can get a little dicey there. It's just something that the PMs will have to pay attention to.
Well, also the people that we say you can give out hours at events. Let's just be cautious of that at those events.
That's fair. Yep. And we could start saying like, yes, you can earn a credit per, shift up to, as long as you haven't exceeded, and we'll just have that as a big asterisk at the, on everything.
Be like, hey, you're getting full class credits at A&S now. Don't whine.
Right. There's a larger potential here. Exactly. Alrighty. So, I don't think this is even a vote. I think this is just a call that gets to be made, right? So
let's do it.
Humana, it's happening. Congratulations, Sind. You can now earn your full credit at A&S. That's right, I called you out. And for those that are here, I'm just gonna throw it out there real early because I had it down on my list too. Mara needs help making equipment for sales at Three Barons Ren Fair, and she is kind of stealing away a lot of the A&S nights for Lupine Moon. You can now get a full credit for attending A&S nights and helping make weapons. There we go. Alrighty. Any other questions, concerns, comments you want to make about this subject? 3, 2, 1. Cool. Next item.
Well.
Oh, okay.
Uno Montero.
Yes.
Kraken, are you going to have any issue with getting the prime ministers on board with giving out the full credits?
I assume that means Cameron. But yeah.
Sorry.
Kraken's watching Endgame right now, as far as I know.
Sorry.
No, I don't foresee any difficulty with that. The one thing that might be a little bit tricky on that, that I probably should have thought about and mentioned earlier, is adjusting, like, is everybody just going to be stuck with their fractional credits forever, or...
No, so how about this for that issue? Comprise a list of everybody that has fractional. Toss me that report, and
probably everybody.
Yeah. I'm just, if you could give me at least a summation of how many credits are necessary to bring everybody up to whole numbers. I don't want to round people down. That seems mean because that kind of invalidates, some attendance item that they made. But if you could give me that full list, then I could kind of assess how we want to do it. Because if it's all under a certain volume, then, maybe May is just a very generous month and we're going to go up to the cap. But
so
or if it's
here's just my thoughts, because I don't want my credits changed. I think it's going to be cool as heck in 5 years when I got fraction credits and the new guys don't. So
it's a novelty item.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. So maybe we need the list and we need people to opt in, or maybe that's maybe the idea is that if you want your, how about this? Let's take a step back.
Request it.
Yes, that's what I was getting to. If you have fractional credits and you would like them adjusted, you may submit a request through your prime minister, and that will filter through the system, prime minister to kingdom prime minister to myself, and then we will review it together and go from there. Sounds
good?
Cool.
Seems agreeable.
So we'll make progress. So some people can get rid of their credits, and others can keep them as a novelty thing. Alrighty. Next item on my agenda list. Midreigns. Somebody's got one in 2 days. So, Doug, you're hosting Midreign on Saturday. Is that right?
Yep. Well, Sugar Wolfers, but yeah.
You're going to stand up there and pretend like you belong, right?
Yes.
Fake it till you feel it. So, I think there is a caravan, or at least I heard that Pockets is trying to make it up there. So for folks that are down here in the South Central region, feel free to, I'm just going to throw Pockets under the bus, send him a message. He was looking for other folks that were trying to get up there. I know he's planning, and, you know, we'll see if he can blow up his inbox. That's what a Kingdom officer is for, right? Like, to throw him under the bus occasionally. But that'll be super cool for folks that get to go up there and visit Fairbanks. In May, is the snow gone?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's going to snow, I guess, for the next 2 days.
Of course it does. Of course it will, right? Well, it wouldn't be Alaska. It wouldn't be Fairbanks without that. But still, so May 4th, Astral Winds, Midreign. Then the following weekend, Lupine Moon and Ravenstone, May 11th and May 12th, have their Midreigns. And then the following weekend after that, May 18th and May 19th, Icefire Bay and Frozen Coast. Is there anything anybody wants to share about their Midreigns? Any advertisements? Any one-liners?
Yeah. Pockets isn't going to win our tournament. It's going to be Jaga.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Everybody's keeping quiet, keeping it close to the chest. Oh, Sage, you unmuted your mic.
Well, so I did want to let everybody know that we are going to attend a Wizards tournament with our Midreigns.
Ooh.
It's the same tournament that we ran at the Trials of Valhalla, the camping weekend that we did. And it worked out rather well. So we'll be posting details about that up here real soon. And feel free to come down and check it out.
Cool. Wizard battle?
Yeah.
Heck?
Sounds like fun. Cough, tournament idea, Logan, cough. All right. Does anybody else have anything else they want to share about their Midreigns?
Nothing special, nothing out of the ordinary for ours. We have the Secret Serpent thing that we're going to get to vote on. I think we have pretty minimal people signed up. I think he said, Kraken said only like 6 people signed up for it. So there's not going to be a big thing for that, but that's okay. And Hakeem will be doing a tournament. We'll be doing it there at the field. That's pretty much it.
Cool. Logan or Victor, anything to throw in there?
Pretty standard.
Standard stuff. I know, Logan, you've got
Gideon's putting on the Amped Guard games, so besides the normal tournament and everything, he's going to have some other athletic and spellcasty kind of events going on. Going to have Feast, all the normal stuff on that side of things, so it should be pretty fun. I can't wait to see the foot race portion. Like I just can't wait to see people like actually run a race. That'll be amazing.
You heard him, folks.
Do a timber
pretty
cop.
Fun. Alrighty, I'm gonna jump to the next item. Doug, you're on the spot again because all the cool stuff apparently is happening up in Fairbanks. May 24th through 26th. That's the end of this month. That's right, folks. We are in May now, but the end of this month, Solstice Wars is happening up in Fairbanks. Astral Winds is going to have us come up there and party hard, right? With board games up till, 9 p.m.?
I switched around a couple things from last Solstice Wars. Last Solstice Wars wasn't very good for the young people, so I thought we would try something just as fun as what was promised as last year, but also easier to do. Hence the board game tournaments. Honestly, I've done one. It can't be worse than that one. It'll be better.
So better than last year. That's our goal.
Yeah.
Cool.
Always better than next time.
Always better. All right. So, Solstice War, May 24th, 26th, up in Fairbanks. There will be a good chunk of us driving up to do that. So, as we approach that date and you realize you want to go, post as such on Facebook, and we will coordinate. There might even be people with slots available to help people get up there. And hopefully the snow will stop before the end of May. Alrighty. Last item on the agenda for me. Right after Solstice War, June 1st and 2nd, and June 8th and 9th, is the Three Barons Ren Fair. There are lots of shifts open. Jack is trying to coordinate the volunteers for those shifts, and there's all sorts of jobs between cash handling, running in the ring, shouting at folks, just being available. I think all the slots are actually open. Nothing's completely filled yet. So nab those easy ones like cash handling right now. Fight me for it. All right. That is June 1st and June 2nd, June 8th and 9th, those 2 weekends back to back. And with that, Mara is also trying to make a lot of weapons to sell at that event. So if you have free time, whether you are in the area or not, send her a message if you can help her make some equipment. That can be as simple as sewing straight lines on fabric to help make weapon covers, or taping things to cores, or cutting stuff. Feel free to shoot her a message, though. I'm sure she would love the volunteers and the help in making all that equipment, because and it all helps. It's all stuff that we sell lots of during this event, and that helps fund cool things like archery booth and Everblocks and maybe not having site fees someday and Everblocks. Alrighty, that is all I had on the agenda for tonight. Does anybody have anything they want to add?
Everblocks.
Everblocks. Okay. So a quick update about Everblocks. For those that are paying attention, we have $2,500. It's kind of earmarked for it. But it's one of those things that the more that we buy, the better it will be for the group. The more we can buy at once, the better it will be for the group, because shipping is going to be the biggest drain on that resource. It's going to be a huge drain. So the idea is that we want to order as much as possible. So we have not moved forward yet with completing that purchase, in the hopes that as some of these other events start to happen, we might go larger than our projections, and maybe we can allocate some more funds to the Everblock purchase to kind of get a better bang for our buck in terms of the shipping costs. So that's where we are at the moment. It's not a forgotten thing, but it's a thing that we're trying to be strategic about.
So real quick question while you brought that up, Nolarian.
Yeah.
Didn't we have like a killer bang from Dungeon Crawl or Dungeon Con?
Yes, we had a pretty good infusion. We definitely made money from that event, but we also have other things coming up too that require some money to be fronted. So resources for making the swords, to sell at Three Barons Ren Fair, some site fees for other things, paying some of our bills, like paying the AI BoD bill, paying or buying the archery booth, which was also approved and in the list, which will also in theory generate us more money, those sorts of things. So we're not at like zero or anything, but it's also not like we can dedicate every dollar that we had at DC, or that we made in revenue at DC, and fold it right into Everblocks either.
Gotcha.
So that's where we are at the moment. Alrighty, so thanks for all that have watched up until this point. I'm gonna let the public go, but the rest of you stay on the line, because we have fancy stuff to talk about. Something that happens at Midreigns generally. So, alright. Thanks everybody, and have a good night.